This video will be an example of using a while loop in Java. So we're going to answer this exercise right here. Write a Java program to prompt the user for the amount of a meal bill and how many ways to split it, calculate an 18% tip, and show the total for each person. Okay, so we're gonna ask the user for two things: the amount of the bill, and then the number of people that will be split by, and then we'll do some math and we'll print out an answer. And then we want to say, after that's done, we'll ask if the user wants to if they want to repeat the process, and we'll just loop through that until they say no. So we're going to use a while loop, because in this case, we don't know how many times we want to do that calculation. We might do it once, we might do it 10 times. So we're going to use a while loop to do that. All right, so we go to JDoodle. JDoodle, we start our new program. And delete our boilerplate. Put it in the scanner. Okay, so first thing we need is a while loop that just continues until the user wants to end. So what I typically do here is I'll use a Boolean value called continue. And I'll just set that. You could use a do while here because you know you want to do this at least once. My approach is to just use a priming value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to define a Boolean expression here, a Boolean variable, using the Boolean data type. I'm going to call it keep going. I'm going to say true. I'm going to initialize it to true. Then I'm going to say while keep going. Okay. And then here we are. So now I do three things. So now I have a loop that will continue until the keep going Boolean variable is changed to false. So we need to prompt the user for two pieces of information: the total amount of the bill, and then the number of ways to divide it, and then we'll print out the answer, and then we'll ask if they want to do it again. So let's do the first two parts first. Prompt for the total amount of the bill and prompt for the number of ways to split. So let's do, let's see, I'm going to need a scanner. Let me come back up here and create my scanner. Okay, now let's go ahead and say string inputs. Whoops, let's do the prompt first. System.out.line. What is the total bill? Okay. Let's do string input equals scanner.next line. And then we want this to be a double value, so we're going to say double total equals double parse double. Okay, so there's the total of the bill. Now we need to prompt them for the number of ways to split it. System.out.line. How many ways will you split it? Let's go ahead and say inputs equals scanner.next line. Then this will be an integer value, so we'll say int. We'll call it ways equals integer dot parse int. Okay, let's go ahead and run that, make sure it works. Make sure we haven't made any mistakes. It's an infinite loop right now because we haven't changed the value to keep going. So it's going to run forever. But I just wanted to compile it and make sure that what I've written so far is correct. What's the total for the bill? $99.45. How many ways do you want to split it? 4 ways. Okay, what is the total for the bill? So now we're back at the beginning of the loop. So this would just continue because we haven't finished the program yet. So let's go ahead and stop executing that. And let's write the next thing. So now what we want to do is we want to say how many ways that it's going to be split. So now it's likely that if you have a bill that's $99.45 and 4 people, that's not going to split up evenly. So let's go ahead and just do simple math. We'll divide the total by the number of people, by the number of ways. And then we'll just print out 3 decimal positions, and then the people at the table can figure out how to deal with the pennies at the end on their own. So let's say double per person equals total divided by ways. So now we're going to get a decimal number. So let's do a system.printf and say a bill of percent comma 0.2 float. So that'll be the total price. Split %d ways is, and then we'll say percent comma 0.3. We'll print 3 decimal positions in the per person. Is per person. And then our replacement values here will be, we need a new line on the end of that. So let's do %n on the new line. And then let's do 2 new lines just so we have space in them. And then the replacement pieces here will be total ways per person. Let me just move this over a little bit so we can see. So total ways and per person. Okay, so that's, and then there's a semicolon on the end of that. Okay, let's run that and see if we've done that correctly. What was the total for the bill? $99.45. I want to split it 4 ways. 24.86.3 per person. So there's going to be, so somebody's going to have to pay 24.87. So 3 people will pay 24.86. 1 person will pay 24.87. So this will just continue. What is the total for the bill? 65.12. That's split 2 ways. Okay. Now the bill also, the challenge also said we needed to calculate an 18% tip. So let's go ahead and add that in, and then we'll add the prompt at the end to see if they want to continue. So let's see. So per person is total. We want to go ahead and add we want to calculate the tip, and let's go ahead and we'll add that to our printout here. Let's see. So let's see, tip. Let's go ahead and add the tip right here. So let's say double tip equals total times 0.18. So that's the total. That's the tip amount. And then we're going to say the per person will be the total plus the tip divided by ways. And then we'll say a bill of this amount plus a tip of, and we'll do percent comma to F. That'll be our tip. And then we need to say, we'll add tip here to that. So let's run that and see if we did that right. This is total for the bill. Let's do an easy one. Let's do $100 so that we can see the tip calculation. Split it 4 ways. Bill of $18 plus a tip of 18. Bill of 100 plus a tip of 18 split 4 ways is 29.500 per person. Okay, let's do a more complicated one. 37.23. Split it 5 ways. Okay. All right, so that seems to be what, so now we want to, that seems to be correct. So now what we want to do is we want to add, we want to go ahead and add the, let's do a double quick calculation on that. 29, so 818 divided by 5, divided by 4. I'm just going to check it on my calculator, 2950. Yeah, so we just do a quick check just to make sure that our data is right and our formula is coming out correct. So one thing we should do is we should actually put in a $sign here, because this is money, right? And so this would necessitate us to use a currency formatter, which we haven't really gone over yet. But just know that you know, if you would really want to do a currency formatter on this so that it would print the appropriate currency symbol. In the US, that would be a US dollar. If you were in Europe, maybe it would be the euro symbol or Canadian dollar or whatever the local currency is. So just know that you would want to do that. We're not going to do that in this example, but that would use a currency formatter object to do that. So let's go ahead and stop that execution. Last thing we want to do is we want to ask, do you want to continue? And then if they say yes, then we will keep going. If they say no, then we'll stop. So do you want to continue? Do you want to, let's say, calculate another split? Okay. We'll calculate another split, and we'll just say this will be yes or no. Okay. Let's get input. Input equals scanner.next line. Let's go ahead and just force that to uppercase. So that we can just check for the y. We'll do an if statement. If input dot equals, remember it's a string, so we don't use the equal, the equality operator. We use the dot equals method built into the string function. Okay. So if it equals yes, then we want to keep going. But really, what we really want to do if it's not yes, so we're going to say if not input equals yes, then we're going to say keep going equals false. Okay. And then so anything other than yes, we'll just terminate the program. So if they say yes, we'll continue. If they say no, we'll stop. If they say 0, we'll stop. Okay. So let's run that, see if it works. What's the total for the bill? $156.32. We'll split that 7 ways. Okay. Looking good. Do you want to continue? We say yes. Uppercase or lowercase should both work here. What is the total for the bill? $236.99. Split 8 ways. Okay. And then we say, no, I don't want to continue. And the program ends. And really here, again, anything other than a Y will terminate the program. So it could be no, it could be A, B, C, D, whatever. Anything other than Y, in this case, will terminate the program. Okay, so that's the example of using a while loop to process some logic an undetermined number of times.